In country music history, there are few voices more emotional than Freddy Fender. When Freddy sang about heartbreak, loneliness, and wasted years, it never sounded fake. It sounded lived in. And sadly, in his final years, Freddy Fender faced one heartbreaking battle after another. Born Baldemar Huerta in Texas, Freddy Fender fought through poverty, discrimination, addiction, prison, and career collapse before finally becoming one of the biggest crossover stars country music had ever seen. Songs like Before the Next Teardrop Falls and Wasted Days and Wasted Nights turned him into a legend. But by the early 2000s, his greatest fight was no longer the music business. It was his health. Freddie had spent decades performing hard on the road, and his body began paying the price. He suffered from diabetes for years, and eventually his kidneys began failing. In 2002, things became so serious that he needed a kidney transplant just to survive. In an incredible act of love, his daughter donated one of her kidneys to save his life. Most artists would have retired after something like that, but Freddy Fender kept going. Then came another devastating blow. In 2004, he needed a liver transplant. Once again, his health was failing badly. Doctors warned him to slow down, but music was part of Freddy Fender's soul. Even after surgeries and long recoveries, he still tried to perform whenever he physically could. And during this later chapter of his career, Freddy was not just remembered as a solo artist. He had also become part of one of the most respected supergroups in roots music history, Texas Tornadoes. The Texas Tornadoes were a powerhouse group made up of Freddy Fender, Doug Sahm, Flaco Jimenez, and Augie Myers. Together they blended country, Tex-Mex, rock, and conjunto music into something completely unique. The group earned Grammy success and became hugely influential, especially in Texas and southwestern music circles. But tragedy hit the Texas Tornadoes too. Doug Sahm died suddenly in 1999, which deeply affected Freddie. After Sam's death, the original magic of the group was never quite the same again. By the time Freddy Fender entered his final years, he was mostly performing as a solo artist again, though his legacy with the Texas Tornadoes remained a huge part of his story. Then came the diagnosis that would ultimately end his life. In early 2006, Freddy Fender learned he had lung cancer. Reports said the cancer was advanced and considered inoperable. After already surviving kidney failure and liver disease, Freddy now faced another impossible battle. Still, he kept trying to fight. He underwent chemotherapy treatments while attempting to stay connected to fans and music. Friends said he remained surprisingly upbeat at times, even while growing weaker physically. But the treatments took a terrible toll on him. Freddie's final performance came on New Year's Eve of 2005. Not long afterward, he returned to cancer treatments. Many fans did not realize at the time that they were seeing one of country music's most distinctive voices for the final time. As the months passed, Freddie spent more time at his home in Corpus Christi, Texas, surrounded by family. One of the saddest parts of his final interviews was hearing how much he still hoped for greater recognition in country music history. Freddy Fender had broken barriers as one of the first Mexican-American superstars in mainstream country music, yet many felt he never fully received the credit he deserved from Nashville. On October 14, 2006, Freddy Fender passed away at the age of 69. His official cause of death was lung cancer. Family members were at his bedside when he died peacefully at his home in Texas. And maybe that is why Freddy Fender's music still hits people so hard today. When he sang about pain, regret, and survival, listeners believed every word, because Freddy Fender had truly lived it, from prison cells to Grammy Awards, from Comeback King to Texas Tornado. Freddy Fender never stopped fighting, and in the end, the man who sang Wasted Days and Wasted Nights left behind a voice country music will never forget.
In a room with a flickering light, country music spotlight shining bright. showcasing tales of legends old, with heart and story